What old-fashioned way of doing things is better than how they are currently done? Real-time strategy games. Command and Conquer, Age of Empires, StarCraft or Warcraft were amazing series and awesome games, but no one is making those anymore. They all failed to make the sequels great at some point, and now we only get the occasional remake that shows there's a market, but we don't get new titles. I think RTS is one of those genres that was pretty much perfected already. There's nowhere to go with them, except better graphics. There's Age of Empire 4 being worked. Reading a news article without a billion pop-ups or having to sign in. Reading a news article which is news and not just a press release from a company or someone's opinion dressed up as fact. Maybe a misleading clickbait article and title might entice you to view anyways. Educational television. Science Channel, History Channel, Discovery, TLC, A&E and so on. All seem to be so much worse than when they started. They seem to be about trying to increase viewership with only the most simplistic of presentations, rather than presenting something of real educational and applicable value. Yes. They suck so much now. A lot of the ones you listed are now reality TV focused also, or do so much conspiracy theory crap that it's hard to take anything they show seriously. Not saying there are no conspiracies that aren't true, but they take it to the absurd. I used to love science, history, and Discovery, and now I don't even waste my time. Amazon Prime has some fantastic documentary shows I found which makes my little nerd heart happy again. There are various PBS YouTube channels with great educational content. PBS Space Time and PBS Infinite series come to mind for me. Apprenticeships. Most people I speak to feel they learned more from their first job than from the actual college courses. A training program followed by an apprenticeship sounds amazing to me. Less expensive, incredibly hands-on and to the point. Imagine paying a fraction of current college tuition while getting real-life experience, built-in mentorship and none of the filler courses or abstract academia. Genius. I don't know where you're from, but modern apprenticeships are quickly on the rise in the UK, and most come with a free degree to boot. Apprenticeships are common for trades all over the world, except for my US co-workers. Zero training, no experience, just some dude. Old cast iron pans. I have 4. Nothing cooks better than well-maintained cast iron. Panshot. Panshot. Whipped cream. Just learned how to whip my own. Not only is it ridiculously simple, it makes that canned stuff taste like a joke. Plus you can add chocolate powder to it when you whip it yourself. Seriously people. Whip your own cream. Yup. I add a little splash of Captain Morgan or brandy for an extra flavor boost. Agree, most foods are like this, especially if you can get the quality ingredients. Cooking is one of the best skills ever. College homework assignments. I would kill to be given a workbook instead of having to use 50 different online assignment services that don't work half the time. Remember when majority of computer software used to one outright purchase instead of a monthly/yearly subscription? This is why I pirate. I am 100% willing to buy your product, I sure as hell am not renting it when I'm going to use it 2 to 3 times a month. 1,000 times yes. I study some sort of design and I am required to use at least 5 Adobe programs which would cost me about €30 a month, even as a fucking student who makes almost no money. A guy from the place I used to work installed 4 of the programs I use the most, with a hint to never update them, and I still additionally use Lightroom from 2006 or so because we still had the CD and it was a one-time investment. God, I had no problem paying €300 or so to buy Photoshop once and be able to update it all the time because Adobe is buggy as hell. Why are there no alternatives with a one-time payment? Why? Old, send your resume. If it's a match they get in touch. New, send your resume. Fill out all the information in your resume on our custom site so that you can apply to one job, and then we will never get back to you even with an automated response. Thanks for taking 30 minutes to do all the inane bullshit too. Practical effects. I work in VFX, and let me tell you, as good as we are, as advanced as the programs have become, and as amazing as some of colleges have proven to be, nothing replaces actual light and textures on real environments. 2 words, Jurassic Park. This is just one of those issues where everyone remembers the bad CGI and don't realize that 99% of it is amazing and unrecognizable. Canopy beds. While the curtains provided privacy, they also kept him warm. Basically turned the bed into a tent for your bedroom. Same line of thinking, the box bed. I've always wondered if there was a practical purpose for those. I mean, I've never shared a bedroom and not a bed with someone, so I hadn't really thought about privacy being a real concern. But I'm glad to know about the heat thing. When I was a kid there were actual bed tents. They were themed. You post got me googling. Bed tents are still a thing and have been upgraded to have multiple looks. Take a gander. Remember when not every video game had 40 DLC packs and didn't require you to make an account and log in to play single player? Remember when you didn't have to be online to play single player? Remember when you could have multiple friends over and play split screen multiplayer? I remember those games with the unlockables and blacked out characters until you achieved something. Now you just buy a new DLC for as much as the original title. Our grandparents canned what they could can from their own vegetable and fruit gardens. All winter long, the canned veggies and fruit tasted so much better than what you get in the can today. How much can a grandma can if a grandma can cans? It's so nice preserving stuff from the garden. My husband makes a ton of very simple tomato sauce and freezes it every year. Pulling out a couple containers to make spaghetti in the winter is such a treat. Murder investigations. None of this silly fingerprinting or DNA or surveillance or forensics. You used to murder someone, dig a hole in the woods and they wouldn't be found for centuries, much easier to get away with. You could also just be going about your day and be tried and convicted for murdering someone who actually just went on vacation. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll draw chalk around where the body is, so we'll know where it was. Game marketing. Just release a trailer. I remember when I could play a game the day it came out and not be spoiled 3 weeks before by some VIP streamer who got given early access and squeezed that lemon for content until it was pulp. Especially with games like Hearthstone. I used to love the first couple of days of new expansions when everyone was finding decks and more fun stuff was played. Now the streamers have had access and found all the good decks from the get-go and everyone just net decks them. I would usually come back to HS when a new expansion comes, but I've just given up now. When the meta is found before a game comes out. You could also just not watch any streamers. I've been gaming for 30 years and I've never understood the appeal of watching them play a game and yell dumb shit at the camera. 3.5mm headphone jack. Bluetooth is nice because there's no wires, but the amount of times it's given me headaches because of some dumb error is too high for me to fully give up the 3.5mm. Cries in iPhone. Playgrounds. There used to be more apparati for kids, swing sets, teeter-totters, that spinning/twirling thing, small farms and or homesteads versus giant or subsidized farms. How we thought about employees, for example rewarding folks for loyalty, honesty versus making everyone feel like they're replaceable, respect for certain trades. I really miss carousels, what we called the spinny things, at playgrounds. A lot of parks had them when I was little, but as time wore on almost all of them were replaced because they were too dangerous. There's only one park left that I know of that has one, and if I ever have kids I really hope it's still there when they're old enough to play on it. Playgrounds. There used to be more apparati for kids, swing sets, teeter-totters, that spinning/twirling thing. I don't know where you live but I still see them everywhere. space programs. I just want us to go to the moon again. We choose to go to the moon. We used to build things to last as long as they could. Now we purposefully build things to fail in 3 to 5 years so we can sell you another one. Edit, some people seem to be confusing not built to last with built to fail. Yes, many things made decades ago were not built to last, but similarly, they were not intentionally built to fail in an artificially short time frame. It's about the intent of the manufacturer. Planned obsolescence is much more common now than it was decades ago. Yep, I inherited a 1946 GE refrigerator. Still works. Never serviced. It's a death trap for kids, but still. Quality stuff is still made, but people don't want to pay what these items are worth. A lot of those things that were well made were as expensive then as they are now, when adjusted for inflation. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.